This is it. This is the final episode of the 2023 season of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championships. This is the moment that we've been all waiting for throughout the season. We do crown our champions. The battle of rank 3 is still on at the Promoters Cup and on the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship itself, the overall podium. Such an excitement going on here at Jarama in Spain. We've seen a lot of drama throughout Saturday and Sunday, and the clock is ticking, not only on the grid, but to get on the grid itself. We are here at the team at Steffi Halm, Team Schwabentruck. They're working so hard to get her truck fixed. Couple of minutes or seconds left. Could she be entering from the pit lane? We will see. They do not give up. You see the hands of the Don't Rush Racing team also. A couple of other hands helping. This is one truck family. It is not a mantra. It is a true story. So we're glad to be finally here. We do see our 5-time champion Norbert Kirsch getting in his truck here at the back of the paddock. It's quite exposed position he's got here. So all the fans there trying to get a photo, but you can see they're heading throughout the paddock trying to get the best space over there because they're trying to follow up this final episode here at the Jarama Race. So welcome everyone. Glad that you've been joining us throughout the season. Let's enjoy this final movements here on the track. Let's enjoy the final words then from Chess record Joachim Eberts and Fonsi Cebrian. Hola, bienvenidos.
Hola, bienvenidos indeed, Christina. Fantastic to be here for the final race of the season. You can see here, I believe, the gearbox going into Steffi Halm's truck. We've obviously got the engine in and all ready to go. Great to see so many teams helping out. The Hahn Racing team as well. Drivers and personnel from T-Sport Bernau. You could see Tim Frost there as well. Even mechanics from the Louis Requenco squad. All coming together, and as Christina rightly said there, one truck family isn't just something we say. It's not just something we say to bring unity to all of this. It really is one truck family. You've got 4 or 5 teams here all putting in the effort together to try and get this engine and to keep Steffi on the circuit. Let's look back though at why this is all happening, and let's have a look at race 3 and how it all unfolded. For the first race of the day, we once again had Norbert Kirsch and Jochen Hahn on the front row of the grid, with Sasha Lenz and Antonio Albacete just behind, trying to sort out their differences in terms of third place in the championship. It was a very tidy first opening lap, with Sasha Lenz moving up into second place ahead of Jochen Hahn. Antonio Albacete knowing that he needed to get more points to stick with the German driver into the final moments of the 2023 season. He's done a great job at climbing back up there, and so too did Jochen Hahn in terms of climbing back up behind Sasha Lenz to try and put the pressure on him. He made a move down the inside into the Farina hairpin and eventually would get through, but Sasha put up one hell of a defence, and it was brilliant entertainment for us all trackside. Norbert Kirsch was at the front of the field breaking away from all of this, but the entertainment was definitely all going on behind him. Jose Rodriguez was hanging on ahead of Heinrich Clemens-Hecker a little bit further down the order, but unfortunately the latter would not finish the race. Going down the hill, there was a big moment for Steffi Halm, which we'll uncover in just a second. We didn't see it live at the time in terms of what happened, but it was big damage to a number of trucks, and it was a real shame to see. But back down to Christina, who's going to give us a few more words.
Damage, of course, as you've mentioned, the gearbox is almost in. I'm not sure if they're going to make it, but we keep our fingers crossed to see Steffi Halm then on the track back. Everyone is helping it, giving its best. So, ladies and gentlemen, small fans here, hola! Of course, we do greet and salute everyone here at our television broadcast program. So what we want to show you the pictures and also the images and the voices we had and collected after the incident. So it was Steffi Halm, she was first in the row, and then there was José Eduardo Rodrigues, the Promoters Cup champion, and then Clemens Hecker, who had a severe damage as he entered the scene, the crime scene, as number 3. So Chaz, you might provide us with all the pictures taken at this point, and then we do here José Eduardo Rodrigues and Clemens Hecker first view perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. The first pictures we were greeted with was when the drivers were dropping down the timing screen. There was a lot of dust down there at turn 11, and we saw Heinrich Clemens Hecker recovering to the circuit with not a lot left of the front end of that truck. It was caved in a very strange way that looked like it had almost hit a pole or hit the end of a wall or something. But what it was from was the front corner of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's truck. So I was told by Steffi Halm, I went and spoke to her after the race. She told me that she was absolutely fine and they were going to try and get back out for this last race. But basically, the engine completely let go on her down the hill. It was almost as if it seized, so it was like putting the handbrake on or just slamming on the brakes, basically. And I'm afraid that the truck was not responding, and she just came to a stop while spilling a lot of fluid on the track. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez was the first one to arrive on the scene, and then, of course, piled in. And behind them, Heinrich Clemens Hecker hit the same fluid and then went into both of them as well.
What do you remember what happened?
Ja, wir sind gefahren, es lief wirklich wunderbar. Ich war auf Platz 2, glaube ich, im Promoters Cup und wir sind den Berg runter und ich sah unten nur, ich glaube, Steffi und einer von den Rodriguez stand quer und dann habe ich angebremst und dann war das wie auf Glatteis, ging nur noch geradeaus. Bin ich in Rodriguez rein, habe mich weggedreht, der Motor war aus, habe wieder angemacht, versucht wegzufahren, aber die ganze Kabine ist schräg auf dem Auto drauf und Kühlwasser, Lenköl, ist alles raus.
So he said he was doing really pretty well. He was second, heading to second on the Promoters Cup, and then he was driving downhill, and then he saw Rodriguez and Steffi Halm. They were blocked and linked at each other, and he couldn't take really hard on the brakes, and he just smashed directly into Rodriguez. Then he said he turned around, spinned, and out of the cabin, the front was out of position, obviously. The cooling water flowed out, and he tried to maneuver, as we had shown on the live stream, maneuver the truck out of position, but right now there's no movement. Sabe o que aconteceu?
Eu penso que terá arrebentado algum tubo de óleo à Steffi, porque eu ia atrás dela, ela já ia em ritmo lento e quando tentou travar para a curva começou a derrapar e eu, à velocidade que eu vinha, tentei travar, mas não consegui, era muito óleo no chão. Entretanto entrei pela gravilha e o Clemens entrou também pela gravilha e acabou por me bater.
So he said that as soon as he entered the turn, he just saw Steffi Halm. She must have had some trouble with the engine, and oil was on this racetrack, so he was not able to brake properly. And then he ended up on the gravel, and as soon as a couple of seconds later, or just milliseconds later, Clemens Hecker entered the scene and, of course, also slipped on the oil, and so he crashed directly into the truck of José Eduardo Rodrigues. Pode participar na próxima?
Estamos a ver os danos ainda, mas em princípio não iremos participar na próxima corrida.
Obrigada. So he said that they're trying to fix the truck, obviously, but it's really, really hardly damaged, so no possibility to get it fixed ahead of race number 4. So we are here with Steffi Halm, and we're keeping our fingers crossed to see you on the grid. How are the chances?
I don't know at the moment. I think we didn't have a delay for the race start, so yeah, for sure all the guys are working hard on it that we can make it. But at the moment, I think it looks not so good, and yeah, we will see. But I keep my fingers crossed that we will be able to race.
We do too. What happened?
Yeah, I had an engine blow up, so I don't know exactly what was the problem, but I lost the power, and then I heard a big bang, and then it was done. So also, Jose Rodriguez hit me because he was on the oil, but there we didn't have a big damage. So it's only changing the engine, but it takes time, and at the moment we don't have time.
Absolutely. Did you slip on your own oil then, so to speak, or just at the engine blow? What did you do then? How did you maneuver?
Yeah, you can do nothing because at that moment the engine stopped running, so you are not able to steer, and so just go out into the gravel, and then I got a big hit from Rodriguez. Yeah, but he cannot avoid it, so yeah, happy that nothing happened, and all the other trucks were able to pass that corner.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are right now saying salute to our international viewers throughout this TV station. This is why we give you a small break, and then we're going to have a look if Steffi Halm is going to manage it and going to pass through. But the chances there are getting lesser and lesser as the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking, ladies and gentlemen. We are ahead of the final race of the 2023 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship here in Jarama. We are here at Steffi Harm's truck, and unfortunately she had to swap the whole engine due to an engine blow up in race number 3. Race number 3 got red flagged, but after 75%, so we had the normal podiums then, but we keep our fingers crossed to see this truck number 44 on track. The other ones are lining up usually as normal as used, but of course Clemens Hecker truck is also out due to the incident happened in race number 3. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez said they could not manage it either, but we are going to be positive about all the other contestants, because this is it. This is the final episode of the season, and the battle of rank 3 is still going on. Of the overall podium and also on the Promoters Cup, they're fighting very, very hard. So we are so curious, Chaz Draker, our English commentator Joachim Eberts and Fonsi Sebrian, what will be the outcome of the final race of the season.
Yes, thank you, Christina. Great to get an insight there on what's been going on. And of course, we have plenty to figure out here in the final race of the 2023 season. My name is Chaz Draker. Indeed, I'm very excited to be here on site this weekend and commentating again on the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. My colleagues, as mentioned, Joachim Eberts and Fonsi Sebrian on the German and Spanish live streams, which you can view online as well. Hello to all of you wonderful TV viewers around the world. We hope you're having a fantastic Sunday wherever you may be, and hope that we're all excited for this final episode of the season, as we've been calling it. So let's just have a look at the bigger picture here. We've got 265 points for Sascha Lenz, 262 for Antonio Albacete. Basically, in these second races of the day, you get 10 points for winning, and then it's just 1 point less per position down, all the way to 10th place. So it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, depending on the top 10 positions. So Sascha can finish right behind Antonio, no matter where they are on the field, and that is fine. And this is where they're going to do battle. This is Jarama, 31 degrees Celsius now in the afternoon. I told you it was going to get hotter, and it certainly has. But this is a really, really tricky circuit here. The first sector, a massive challenge indeed. It gets a little bit calmer for our drivers through the second sector. They're not going to be making many overtaking moves there. But then going into the final set of corners, down to the Bugatti S's, up towards Monza, and then Tunel, the final right-hander down the start-finish straight. That's where they then start to make moves and start to open up their opportunities. Looking at the Promoters' Cup battle as well, Louis Riquenco, winning that previous race in the Promoters' Cup, has gained 12 points on John Newell in that one. John, unfortunately, slipped on the oil and had to try and avoid the incident. He did so successfully, but lost a bunch of positions in that one. So he's lost a lot of points to Louis. He is only 4 points ahead of him now, and Riquenco is starting on pole position. It is... You can't write this. You genuinely cannot write this. Louis Riquenco could potentially finish third in the Promoters' Cup here. He just needs to finish within, 5 places ahead of John, basically. If Louis wins the race and scores 10 points, then John would basically need to get 5 to be, more than 5 to be anywhere near securing that third place in the championship. First and second are clear, and then the drivers behind in fifth and sixth are clear as well. Christina is on her way to the grid, riding in style, as you see from the golf buggy, but I'll be doing the maths live on air. I'll be doing the maths as this goes, so I'll be checking the points and figuring it all out for you. But yeah, Louis starting right up there at the front of the grid, John Newell starting in 12th position. So let's not forget that in the Promoters' Cup, they have their own point scoring system, though. So they will get 10 points for first in the Promoters' Cup, even if, for example, Louis Riquenco finishes the race in, 5th place. Let's just say he finishes 5th, and the next person in the Promoters' Cup is 10th. There will still only be 1 point between them, because in the Promoters' Cup, that's just first and second. So John just needs to finish within the top 5. As long as he's in the top 5 in that Promoters' Cup, he will hold on to third position in the standings. Louis Riquenco can win that, and that's fine, because if John finishes in 5th place and scores 6 points, they will be equal on points. We'll need to actually do some count back on that, but of course, it'll be much more in favour of John, I believe, in that situation, so we'll figure out how it goes. But Louis Riquenco's recent run of form will certainly be one to cause concern. In terms of the Promoters' Cup on the grid as well, Louis Riquenco obviously on pole position outright, pole position in the Promoters' drivers. And John, at the moment, will be starting actually in 5th place, behind Mark Taylor, behind Jonathan Andre and Stefan Faas. If he can at least get ahead of Jonathan Andre then he'll be all good. He doesn't need to worry about Heinrich Clemens Hecker, Steffi Halm, or Jose Eduardo Rodriguez because it looks like none of them will be starting the race. So John should have a nice clear run to at least try and get past Jonathan Andre. As long as he finishes fourth, that'll be that. So we've got that to think about. And, of course, the battle between Antonio Albacete and Sasha Lenz. And guess what? They're starting on the same row of the grid. But again, with just 1 point per position, it's going to be a very interesting one to see. Literally, the positions will be what we determine it by. We'll do the maths. But anyway, Louis Requenco starting on pole, and he's going to have a chat with Christina.
Absolutely. ¿Qué momento es? Final época, final carrera en esta temporada. Solamente 4 puntos a Tenuil.
Bueno, vamos a intentar conseguir esos 4 puntos y poder adelantar ese puesto. La temporada ha sido para mí muy agradable, muy interesante y esperemos que la siguiente quedemos un poquito mejor.
So you said, yes, of course, this is the final episode and we're trying to get those 4 points to be heading to the position number 3 in the Promoters Cup overall standing at the final. So you said he's very satisfied with this season, he's enjoying it, and also next season he's going to be there. So mucha fuerza en las primeras curvas.
Bueno, vamos a ver si podemos mantener este primer puesto, que va a ser muy, muy difícil. Pero bueno, vamos a intentarlo y vamos a sacrificarnos todo lo que podamos.
Okay, gracias. So you said, yes, I'm starting from P number 1 and we are trying to give it a go in all the first turns. They want to stay here at P number 1. Of course, he's got the support from all the fans here at Jarama. They're cheering for the Spaniard and we're so glad to see him here against the Portuguese. Of course, on the other side, on P number 2, it's going to be a tough race. This is the final race, Jess. Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's bound to be a fantastic showdown at the end of the season. Great entertainment all the way through. And we know that with the sunshine bearing down on us, it's going to be a good atmosphere regardless. So the Ford F-Max completes its final inspection lap of the 2023 season. And for the final time, I get to tell you that this Ford F-Max was designed and tested by 500 Ford engineers in a 5-year period. They carried out 5 million kilometers of road testing and over 15,500 hours of lab testing with 200, if I can get my words out, prototype units at least. It was over 4 continents and 11 countries, and we have the great Ford F-Max as part of our partnership with Ford Trucks for this year, and we're very grateful to have them on board. And of course, it's the 2019 International Truck of the Year. So final movement from the grid for everybody. You can see Casino there speaking to Franz Stahlberg as they make their way off the grid. And they will be some of the last people to vacate before the race gets underway. The 30-second board will be shown momentarily. And the excitement will continue to build here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship as the last round of the season, round 32, is due to get underway. There you can see the Ford F-Max making its way into the pit lane. It's just about to head past where my commentary box is now. I'm literally just where it is now. And at the sort of end of the start-finish straight, you can see the little box in the background with the white window on it where the marshals wave the flags on the start-finish line. That's parallel to where I am in the media centre. So I still get to see the trucks out of the window flying by and heading down the start-finish straight. It's a great view from here. There are the Tank Pool 24 guys with, I believe, Smurf hats on their head as they head back into their necessary stations for this race. And it does look like Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is going to start the race, actually, from the back of the grid. So that could certainly shake things up for John Newell. Because in the Promoters' Cup, obviously, if Jose Eduardo finishes ahead of him, that makes a difference in the points. So, oh dearie me, this is going to be a very tantalising one indeed here. We wish all the best to all of our drivers out there today for this final round of the season, and we hope that they make it a good one. And we hope, of course, they all have a good time of it and come back without damage and without need for any major repairs. There is the 30-second board, shown a long time after I thought it was going to be. And our Iveco S-Way will be the truck to lead the entire field round one more time, the official pace truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And this will be race 4 of round number 8 here at Jarama. Jarama, a track that is almost synonymous with truck racing now. It's so well known for this little corner of motorsport that we love. And It's, well, I say a little corner. It's become a mighty big corner of motorsport in recent times, especially the love and adoration for truck racing is growing all of the time, and it's a very international sport with lots of very passionate people that get involved with it and passionate fans all around the world. I don't think you'll meet any fans more passionate than truck racing fans. They know what the niche is like, and they certainly know how to enjoy it. So our bio-LNG-powered Iveco S-Way pace truck leads us away round the circuit. This bio-LNG monster is yet again the pace truck for the championship, and we're delighted to have the partnership with Iveco, who give us this gorgeous truck in this beautiful metallic blue colour scheme. But the bio-LNG tanks on the side of it are a giveaway that it is powered by bio-LNG. You can see them on the motorways and highways of wherever you may be in the world now. They are on sale and they are available to the market all around the world. And I can tell you the interiors on these things as well, the way they are trimmed out, especially in this specification, are really, really gorgeous. And Frank the Tank, our driver, gets to have one more circulation of a racetrack here in the championship and really will go out there and enjoy himself, I can tell you for free. He knows how to drive, does that boy? And he's a pleasure to work with. He really is. This is your grid then. Louis Requenco starts on pole position alongside Jose Rodriguez. Great to have Jose back with us in the championship. He's been a real entertainer. Andre Kurzim and Jamie Anderson start side by side. And by the look of it, I think it's decided between those two that Jamie cannot catch Andre. He is actually 11 points behind him. Antonio Albacetti and Sasha Lenz, keep your eye on these two as they fight for third and fourth in the championship. They're on the third row of the grid. Behind them, we have Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kirsch. Both of them have their positions cemented in time. Jochen finishing second in the championship and Norbert taking his fifth title. Stefan Faas will start ninth with Jonathan Andre alongside him on the fifth row of the grid. And then behind them, we will have Mark Taylor and John Newell, who is the man with the work to do here in the Promoters' Cup. He'll certainly be hoping to grab as many positions as he can. It would be Steffi Halm and Heinrich Clemens Hecker on the seventh row of the grid, but unfortunately they will not be there due to the damage sustained in the earlier incident. But Jose Eduardo Rodriguez will be at the back of the grid. Now, they had to neutralise Parc Ferme, obviously, to work on the truck and get it out there, so even if he was going to start the race anyway, he would be at the back. And that's obviously what he's opted to do here. He needs to leave a gap as if there is a row in front of him, though. He can't close perfectly up to the back of the truck in front, which would be Mark Taylor on the right-hand side of the grid. And there is Jose Eduardo. He's already won the Promoters' Cup Championship, though, so there's no major strains or stresses from his side. He doesn't have a lot of work to do in terms of securing points or anything. He can head to this evening's awards dinner and be a very happy boy and win his title and claim the crown. Are we all ready then, everybody? We all ready for the final race of the 2023 season? It's been an absolute blast yet again. Let me very quickly say thank you to everyone for joining us this season and enjoying the truck racing with us in its finest form. And for one more time, everybody, for round 32 here from Jarama, it is... I'll leave it to these guys. Go indeed. We're underway here at Jarama. Round 32 of the championship is go. And it's Louis Requenco and Jose Rodriguez on the front row, battling together side by side down towards turn one. Everybody piling in behind and keeping station at the moment. Looks like John Newell moves to the outside of the circuit to make sure that that line is covered. He just tries a little peek there to see what goes through. Jose Rodriguez dives in on Louis Requenco. That doesn't work for him. Louis runs wide, and Andre Kurzim, I think, is the one that gets down the inside of the pair of them. And he says, thank you very much. I'll take second at least. He looks now down the inside into first position, gets his nose chopped off there by Louis, who is very demanding across the front of him. And then into Le Mans they go. Look at Antonio Albacetti already getting past Jamie Anderson, trying what he can do to gain these necessary points to go further up in the championship. He's straight into third place, and the fans love that one. They'll be making a racket for the remainder of the race based on that alone, I can tell you. Norbert Kirsch trying to get around the outside of Jochen Hahn. John Newell hopping and skipping and jumping over the curbs. Mark Taylor trying to get around his compatriot as well, while Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is in the fight too. But as it stands at the moment, it is Louis Requenco leading the race with Andre Kurzim just behind him. Antonio Albacetti in third position, hoping to bring the house down here and have a Spanish driver win the race. We'll have to see whether he can complete his season with a win. That would be the perfect scenario, but he needs to be 4 places ahead of Sasha Lenz. So if Antonio wins the race, he would need Sasha in what would be 5th place or worse. Down towards the Bugatti S's once again they go. And it is all to play for here. There's a bit of nerves in the air at this point of the race as everybody tries to get it all together. Sasha is in 5th position, which would keep him 1 point ahead of Antonio in the championship so far. I believe based on Antonio's wins, though, if he ties this and they both end up on 271 points, for example, Antonio would be 3rd on countback because of race victories that he's had. Sasha hasn't won a race this year, unfortunately. But he's had more than 15 podium appearances throughout the year. Louis Requenco continues to lead. Andre Kurzim 2nd place. Antonio Albacete 3rd. Then Jose Rodriguez. Then Sasha Lenz. Then Jamie Anderson. Norbert Kish and Jochen Hahn in 8th. Then it's Stefan Faas. Jonathan Andre currently 3rd in the Promoters' Cup at the moment. And then John Newell, who currently resides in 4th place in those standings. So he would be 1 point clear of Requenco at the moment if it carries on. But even if Louis loses this overall lead, he will still lead in the Promoters' Cup. So that's the important thing to remember here. There's plenty of shifting around yet to do. We've only completed 1 lap, but look at Sasha Lenz go. What a fantastic run that is out of the Farina hairpin. That moves him up onto a place that will score him 7 points. And now Antonio needs to stretch his legs even more. This is 3rd in the championship now. 2nd and 1st already cemented, as I've said. And it's all gloves off now. This is great, great stuff. We'll have to see. Antonio not quite staying with Kurzim and Requenco in front of him at this moment in time. It's all checking up behind as well as Norbert Kish tries not to run into any of the trucks in front of him. There's a bit of a check up there, even on the exit by the look of it. Everybody having to spread out slightly. Louis Requenco and Andre Kurzim doing great things for Iveco at the front of this pack. Then it's the MAN of Antonio Albacete. Hard onto those brakes, down into the Bugatti S's. Then it's Jose Rodriguez, Jamie Anderson just in front of Norbert Kish. And then Jochen Hahn, Stefan Faas, currently on for another podium in the Promoters' Cup, which would be great for him. Lovely way to round out his season after a difficult time recently. Jonathan Andre would love another podium as well, but I imagine John Newell wants to take that away from him. There they are in the middle of the pack. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez just behind John right now. And I wonder if he's going to hold station or whether he's going to get his elbows out and try and move forward, because if Jose Eduardo Rodriguez moves in front, I believe that would mean that Louis Requenco would have 3rd in the championship, because on countback, he's won races in the Promoters' Cup this season. He's won a good 3 or 4, maybe even 5 now, and John Newell hasn't won any in the category so far this season. So it would go to Louis, I believe. If anybody out there in race control or anywhere else can hear me and needs to correct me on that, then please let me know. But I'm pretty sure it would be Requenco's to lose if that's how it went. Amazing scenes here in the sunshine, though. You can just tell what the vibe is like, can't you? Look at this arena section. Listen to the horns as they come through yet again. The flutters and chirps of the turbos there as they open the wastegates, chuck out any unnecessary boost as they go through the gears. Singing and dancing away. These engines then roar their way up the hill. Norbert Kish is now in front of Jamie Anderson in this race. He moves up into 6th position. Just half a second ahead of Jamie. Jochen Hahn not far behind either. I imagine Jochen might have tried to be opportunistic there and get through as well. No, it doesn't look like he has, actually. Jamie is still in front there. But look at this now. Suddenly, the top 3 has got much, much closer together. I'm going to be holding my breath for many moments of this one, I can tell you for free. This is Louis Requenco's race to lose at this moment in time. We've seen great consistency from Louis, but it seems like later on in the race he starts to just fall off a little bit, maybe just overworking the tyres in his Iveco. Maybe the setup is sort of geared towards that, trying to open up an advantage in the opening laps so that then he can sort of take it a little bit easier in the later stages. Drivers and teams do tend to work the trucks in a way where they will be able to come alive in certain parts of the race. There's a lot of intricacies underneath these massive beasts that we see, 5 tons a piece minimum, these trucks, with over 1,000 horsepower and in some cases up to 6,000 newton meters of torque, limited to 100 or governed to 100 miles an hour, and then of course 160 miles an hour or just under, because if they hit that speed or exaggerate over that, then they get a penalty and get done for overspeeding. It's all measured by GPS as well, so it's incredibly accurate. And the drivers, the art form of this sort of racing is that they obviously don't exceed those speeds. Jochen Hahn has just overtaken Jamie Anderson in the background, so he's on to gain a few more points out of this one from 7th position. But it's the battle here on our screens that we need to focus on. Antonio Albacete and Sasha Lenz for 3rd overall in the championship. This would be perfectly fine for Sasha. He would be 2 points in front, and the SL Truck Sport 30 team with the Apollo Tyres branding will be the ones to take 3rd in the standings. Up the hill once more, the whole field all glued together. John Newell still in front of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Keeping my eye on that as well in the background. Mark Taylor on for a couple of points as well. Jose Eduardo on for 6 points. Mark Taylor on for 5. It's been a miserable weekend to end Mark's season, but you have to congratulate him on how well they've done, considering they just jumped into the championship at the start of this year. They didn't do what John and the team did last year, where they did a couple of the final race meetings of the season to get a bit of a taster for how it all works. Mark and his amazing squad of people, and his dad Alan as well. Alan's a real top bloke. Very, very lovely guy. Always looks after me at race weekends. It's just been wonderful to see the progress they've made. It's just this poor look at the end of the season that's really stopped them in their tracks. There's been a move there for Norbert Kish to now go up an extra position. He now moves into 5th spot ahead of Jose Rodriguez. A reminder there that all of these beautiful, powerful, monstrous race trucks all run on 100% renewable HVO diesel. Keeps the racing nice and clean and, of course, environmentally friendly, while still being able to go racing without any major adaptations to the trucks themselves to run on this fantastic fuel that we have in the championship. Whole field there, all in one shot as they pile down the start-finish straight. Isn't that a lovely sight indeed? Louis Requenco keeps a very tight line on the inside of turn 1, then lets it run wide on the exit, actually, a little bit wider than Andre Kursim is doing, as Jamie Anderson kicks the back end of the truck out there on the way in. I know that Jamie used to be a rally driver, but he likes going sideways. We were actually talking about rally cars in the interval between races as well. He's certainly showing his rallying roots there, as long as it doesn't end up on his roof, like his Evo did many a time. And I'm sure he'll be okay. Then again, if it went on its roof, Jamie would still try and carry on going. He's a rally driver. What a great trade of trucks we have there going through the Farina hairpin here. Look at them, all multicolours. We've got the green 64 of Louis Requenco, the beautiful white and yellow 11 Don't Touch Racing machine of Andre Kursim, then the white, dark blue, red, black, silver, all sorts of colours Antonio Albacete machine. And then behind him, the bright purple number 3 of Sasha Lenz and the fire red blue of Norbert Kish's MAN. An absolute rainbow of teams, complete with the blue Reboconaut Racing Team machine of Jose Rodriguez behind them as well. It's like a culminated 6,000 horsepower bag of Skittles down towards the Bugatti S's. And boy, it looks and sounds fantastic, does it not? Hard onto the brakes then at the bottom of the hill. Seems like the oil and spillage from earlier on has had no effect on the circuit in the long run, which is great to see. It's still safe for racing and the drivers can push on as hard as possible. Maybe a little bit too hard there for Antonio Albacete, who's going to lose a little bit of pace in comparison to Sasha Lenz. Norbert Kish wants to arrive on the scene here as well. That might shake things up between these two. We'll have to see whether Norby is the one too many cooks here that spoil the broth for Sasha Lenz and Antonio Albacete. I'm not quite sure how good their cooking skills are, but we're about to find out, I bet. Another lap in the books. Careful, Jose. They cross the line then and begin lap 6 of this race. We've completed 5 so far. There's a black and white flag going out, I believe, which will be for penalty markers. But still, the race continues at full chat. John Newell still behind Jonathan Andre, but still in front of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. I'm sure that him and the team have got their fingers crossed slightly that Jose Eduardo holds station there, based on the fact that we might have some sort of damage or problems from earlier on. There's only 0.4 of a second between them. And there's still half of the race left to go. Lap 6 here at 12 in round 32 of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship for 2023. You can hear the crowd suddenly not roaring, but screaming as Louis Requenco makes a mistake into the hairpins. Antonio Albacete wants a piece of that as Kursim tries to get a cut back on the exit. Louis Requenco picks the back end out, says, go on, we'll throw a bit of style in as well while we're leading this race. Doesn't quite work for him up the hill though. Kursim, well, don't touch, never mind that, don't headbutt Louis Requenco over the crest. Don't forget, that's Lucas Hahn's truck that he's driving. I actually saw Lucas earlier on. He's come here for the end of season awards, which is lovely to see. Lucas is always a great smiling face amongst the paddock. And oh no, Louis gone deep. Louis gone way too deep into the hairpin. He's gone straight on, and down the inside goes Andre Kurzim. Thank you very much, Sunshine. He says Andre's won a few times here at Jarama in the past. It seems to be a circuit that he goes really well at, and now with the reverse grid race yet again, he finds himself at the front. Now, is Louis going to help his countryman Antonio Albacete go through here? I think not. He's a racing driver. He's going to just do everything within his power to stay in front. And Antonio's going to do everything he can within his power to send it down the inside. There's contact between the two of them. He leans on him through the Bugatti S's and into the hairpin. Antonio goes through, but I believe Sasha's going to go through as well. He absolutely does. So that's now still the same situation we had before. Sasha in front by 2 points as things stand. Louis Requenco going slightly backwards there, but holds on to the Promoters' Cup lead. And breathe, Chaz. Antonio now second, Lenz third, Requenco fourth, Norbert Kish in fifth place. Then it's Jose Rodriguez. Jochen Hahn in seventh position. He doesn't need to do much work here because his championship fate is already decided. He's happy with second place, and he remains there regardless of how many points he gains or loses. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez in the background, still behind John Newell, who at this present moment will be third in the Promoters' Cup. Again, in the Promoters' Cup, first and second is already established. That is Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Stefan Fass. But then the rest, well, it's still to be decided. Important to note, Andre Kurzim as well, finishing there, will actually move himself up into fifth place in the standings ahead of Steffi Halm. Unfortunately, Steffi not taking part in this race, which was a massive shame. Antonio, I know, will want to try and win this race outright. He'll want to take that away from Andre Kurzim. And even if he cannot secure third place in the standings, he will be delighted to win in front of his home crowd. And I dare to even imagine how much this place will erupt with that sort of performance from Antonio. Requenco in fourth place still leads the Promoters' Cup in this race. Stefan Fass in second place. Jonathan Andre trying to get a second podium finish of the day in the category. Jochen Hahn seems to have come alive here and realised that maybe he could have a good fight if he gets past Jose Rodriguez and co in front of him. Can he do anything about them? Watching them yet again head down the hill. I'm not sure if Antonio or Sasha are gaining any time on Andre Kurzim. I'll check the gap as they cross the line this time round. It was 1.5 seconds last time they broke any of the timing beams. But we'll keep our eyes on it, everybody. We will keep our eyes peeled. Lap 7 out of 12 here at Jarama. The final race of the weekend. Final race of the season. And so far, it's been another cracker. So it was 1.566. Remember those numbers, because I probably won't. Andre Kurzim leading by 1.566 seconds. Let's see if that gap exaggerates or decreases. It decreases slightly, only a tenth and a bit, as Albacete closes in a tiny, tiny bit there. There's not enough laps left in the race if they continue to close in at that pace. Sasha Lenz can, to be fair, easily just sit behind him now. Sure, it may not be as glamorous as second place, third place, but he can sit there, and the bigger picture would be getting third place in the overall championship standings. I don't think Sasha will take the risk. He's a very clever bloke, very wise. Both of them are. Antonio and Sasha are both phenomenal blokes. Really, really solid racers as well. Sasha will be keeping his head calm. He won't even be swearing in English or anything. And he'll be making sure that he keeps his mind in the game here. Norbert Kish is all over the back of Louis Requenco, and he's putting that Iveco exactly where he needs to. As Jose kicks the back end out there just in front of Jochen Hahn. Makes it a bit stylish on the exit of the 3.5. And look at the traction and the grip that Norby has up the hill. But unfortunately, through a corner like that where you're going so quickly, you cannot make it easily past Louis Requenco. Goes right, goes left, hard on the brakes. And he forced a mistake out of Louis. He's going to try and take a late apex here, is Norbert. And then cut back and take a tight line on the exit of the corner. Look at this. Ready? He's going to do it now. He's going to put the pedal to the metal. I've run out of words by now. I mean, I don't want to make it look like he's predictable, but he set this up yesterday. Look, he's going to brake, dab the brakes, cut down the inside again. No, actually, no, he's not. Never mind. You proved me wrong, Norby. I owe you a drink. Although he says, no, maybe I did predict that one. Chaz down the inside of Louis Requenco, just goes a little bit too hot into the Bugatti hairpin. Now they're going to go up towards Monza again. They remain side by side. Norby didn't quite get the run to go all the way around the outside before they got there. Is he going to get a cut back out of Mons there? It's a double apex right-hander, so he can try it, but Jose Rodriguez has seen a bit of a vulnerability there down the inside, but Norby gets enough of a good run off the corner that it is completely negated by the time they get to Tunnel. Jochen Hahn's going to be watching all of this, laughing to the bank. He's going to be enjoying himself in the final race of the season. The gap has come down by a few more tenths now from Antonio Albacete to Andre Curzim at the front of the grid. Andre continues to lead. Antonio still in second. He's going to be torn between risking it to take the lead and obviously trying to hold on for whatever points he can. Requenco goes deep again into turn one, just overdoing it slightly on the brakes here. Jose Rodriguez comes through, makes contact with him. The two of them end up with Jochen Hahn right behind as well. Jochen's going to look down the inside of both of them now. He's going to try and go down the inside of Jose Rodriguez. Not sure if there was contact there, but it would have been a definite stab of the brakes for Jochen to try and make sure that he didn't go into the back of the Portuguese driver. You can hear somebody's tyres skipping and jumping off the surface there, and the traction completely breaking away from them. But what a great final race of the championship this has been already. The battles all up and down, again proving just how exciting the reverse grid format is. It doesn't give as many points as the first and third races of the weekend, where the grids are set on merit and obviously by the lap times that the drivers complete. But this is excellent stuff, isn't it? As there, Jose Rodriguez has now got enough of a good run on Louis Requenco to try and go through into the hairpin. And unfortunately, I'm not sure if he's made it. John Newell is still in front of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Sasha Lenz there, I think, might have been side by side with Antonio Albacete. But Norbert Kish continues in fourth position. Is the battle changing in front? It has. Sasha Lenz has got in front. Sasha Lenz now moves himself into second place in the race ahead of Antonio Albacete. That further cements his position as third in the championship. He'll be 4 points clear of him now in the standings. Unbelievable stuff. I'm not sure if Antonio just got a poor exit out of the corner or whether Sasha's just had a great run down the hill or something, but Lenz takes second place. Antonio Albacete now falls into third, but ironically from that position loses third in the championship. Jochen Hahn still trying to overtake one of his own trucks here, driven by Louis Requenco. It's Lucas's truck. Lucas, I imagine, a little bit nervous on the sidelines, watching his father attack his own truck, just in different racing drivers' bodywork, I suppose. It's quite an interesting situation to be in. John Newell is just holding on to enough points here to keep that lead in the Promoters' Cup. Well, that lead over Louis Requenco, of course. Louis almost on for a perfect points finish out of today. Jochen Hahn now carries on this chase of the fellow Iveco driver, Louis Requenco. He sees a bit of an outbraking manoeuvre by Louis, who pushes a bit too hard. Jochen says, "Thanks very much, Louis. I will see you later. I hope you've enjoyed the truck. Enjoy it for the final few laps, my friend." We're on lap 10 out of 12 here. Not long left to go, and Jochen Hahn now moves up a position and up into 6th place overall in this race. That will give him 5 championship points at this moment. It's been a great drive by Sasha Lenz. I said he wasn't going to take any risks and go for a move. I'm not quite sure how it came about, whether it was just a small mistake by Antonio that lost him a bit of ground, lost him a bit of momentum. But it's really unfortunate for him to have lost that place just in case something happened. But still 2 laps to go after this, and you never know what can happen. All the while, Andre Curzim continues to lead this race with fantastic fashion. He's had a lot of bad luck this season, and it would be lovely to see him overtake Steffi Halm in the championship with a win. It'd be the most dramatic way to do it. Of course, we wish that Steffi was out there on the circuit, able to have a fair fight with him and see them battling together. But it's not going to be the case. There's Norbert Kish in 4th place, still trying to chase down the rest of these drivers. On to lap 11 of 12 here at Jarama, round 32 of this 32-round season in 2023. Louis Requenco now under pressure from Jamie Anderson, who goes this way, then the other. John Newell still in front of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Is that going to last until the very end? We'll have to see. Jose goes from left to right on the start-finish straight. Tries to do whatever he can to maybe get past. Antonio Albacete looking closer and closer all the time to Sasha Lenz. stuck with him since he overtook him, but he's just not been able to do enough to take the eventual lead of the race. Look at the sight of these trucks making their way up over the hill. Isn't it beautiful? These 5-ton, 1,000 horsepower monsters climbing not only the hill but the curbs as well, in the case of Andrej Kurzim through there before they go into Ascari. Now Norbert Kish has his teammate Antonio Albacete in front of him. I do not think for a moment that Norby will try and take that place off Antonio. I think just for the sake of Antonio having the extra point, Norbert will sit there. But Sasha on his way to third in the standings. Will be a really happy boy if he pulls this one off. And there's going to be one more lap after this now, as they climb back up the hill towards Monza yet again. These two started 5th and 6th on the grid. They've made their way up into 2nd and 3rd in the race very gracefully. Nice and tidy drive from all of them involved, to be fair. There's been a tiny bit of contact here and there, but it's been great racing. A real solid advertisement for truck racing, this final encounter of the championship. But across the line goes Andrej Kurzim to take the penultimate flag sort of mark, let's say. Or the final lap mark, I should say. Sasha Lenz second, Antonio Albacete third, Norbert Kish, then Jose Rodriguez in 5th place, having a good run. He's ahead of Jochen Hahn, then Louis Requenco, then Jamie Anderson, Stefan Faas and Jonathan Andre still 2nd and 3rd in their classes. John Newell holding on as well in the Promoters' Cup ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, the man that is now crowned champion of the category for the season. Well, it may have been Andrej Kurzim's birthday yesterday, but he's going to feel like it's his birthday today if he can hold on to this final lap. The battle's still going on behind. Fans going absolutely supersonic here at Jarama. And as they go over the hill one more time, Andrej Kurzim will be just controlling his nerves at this point. Jochen Hahn has moved ahead of Jose Rodriguez for an extra position, an extra championship point. That'll give him 6 at this stage. Requenco still on for 10. It'll be 9 points for Stefan Faas. Jonathan Andre would get 8, and then John Newell, 4th in the class, would get 7 points. 6 going the way of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Only a matter of a few corners now for Andrej Kurzim in the Iveco. He's surely going to take it easy here. He had a very emotional victory here a couple of seasons ago. He had another very emotional victory here last season. And he's not got long now to get this done. Is that something coming out of the engine? It better not be. It better not be. There's something coming out of that engine. I tell you what, it's chosen a time to do it. Around the final corner he goes. There's something pouring out of that machine, but with smoke everywhere and fluid. Antonio Albacete loses another place to Norbert Kish, but Andrej Kurzim wins at Jarama in the final round of the season. Sasha Lenz in 2nd, Norbert Kish 3rd, Antonio Albacete in 4th place. I'm not sure if Antonio just had a mistake or something there. We'll keep our eye on the positions behind them, but Andrej Kurzim's engine, well, it did it till the very final lap, didn't it? And then it let go. But that is the championship complete in terms of racing, and across the line, I can tell you that John Newell did finish in front of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, so by 1 point, while Louis Requenco takes the win in the Promoters' Cup in that race ahead of Stefan Faas and Jonathan Andre. John Newell secures himself 3rd place in the Promoters' Cup for 2023 behind Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Stefan Faas. But well done, Andrej Kurzim. Boy, he deserved that one. He worked hard for it and got the race victory, held onto it beautifully at the front of the field. And that was a solid race. There's going to be a lot of drifting going on now, I can tell you that for free. Interesting to see that Norby went past Antonio there at the end of the race. I'm not sure if that was just Norby making a move or whether Antonio made a mistake or something into those final couple of corners. But certainly drama there amongst the teammates. Burnouts are plenty for Norbert Kish. Look at the smoke off that. That is phenomenal, isn't it? Excellent. Hurrah, Norby. And Sasha Lenz, 3rd in the championship. He celebrates by shredding his Goodyears down at the hairpin, using all of the torque of that MAN engine. Listen to the axle hopping as he changes up through the gears. This is one of the coolest shots of the year, this. We always have this. We're drifting down here. Where's Antonio? Antonio's in there somewhere. There he is, doing donuts. Let's see if we can get a shot of Antonio there doing the donuts in the arena. There you go. He is so loved here at this circuit. He's a legend in Spain, and he gives back to his fans. Look at him go. Such a gentle bloke outside of the truck. Such a lovely guy, and a fierce competitor behind the wheel. And a great entertainer. You can hear his fans with the chainsaws around the arena there as well. Jochen Hahn's getting in on it. So too is Jamie Anderson. You go, Jochen. You've got to love it, haven't you? Camaraderie, the entertainment from all of our drivers is never ending. And on my maths then, it's Norbert Kish, Jochen Hahn and Sascha Lenz, the top three in the championship. Andrei Kurzim finishes just behind Antonio Albacete. He gets 5th place in the standings, with Steffi Halm 6th and Jamie Anderson 7th. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is the 2023 Promoters Cup champion. And then Stefan Faas finishes in 2nd, with John Newell in 3rd place. And all of the team down there at Don't Touch Racing will be over the moon. Louis Requenco wins all 4 races in the Promoters Cup this weekend. That's a fantastic achievement. And he finishes ahead of Stefan Faas and Jonathan Andre in that one. That's the same podium that we had in the earlier race as well. A pip of the horn from Jamie Anderson to the marshals. And it's that time of the day, really, where it's almost time to shed a tear, really, that it's over. It's such a shame when the season ends. Here's Jamie's about to do some drifting for them. I told you, he's a rally driver. He knows how to drive sideways. Nicely done, Jamie. He's using all the road and a little bit more. Then again, rally driver. They're all bonkers. Norbert Kish gets a final guard of honour and round of applause from his team for this season. I'm sure that there will be plenty more rounds of applause for Norby and the incredible Revace Racing team. Later on at the awards dinner, you can see the fans ready to head home after a hot day in the sun at the racetrack. You can hear the chainsaw still going off. There's trucks being bounced off the rev limiter. And there's John Newell, 3rd in the Promoters Cup. Well done to John. And again, hats off to all the drivers in the Promoters Cup for doing such a great job this season. They've been so entertaining at every single round that we've had. Louis Requenco, Clement Hecker having a great resurgence at the end of the season. Mark Taylor for such bad luck towards the end of the championship. It's devastating to see that turn of form, but he still did a great job on his first run through the season. Andrei Kurzim wins by over 2 seconds from Sascha Lenz, and Norbert Kish completes the podium ahead of his teammate Antonio Albacete, who finishes 4th and 4th in the championship. Jochen Hahn in 5th place, with Jose Rodriguez having a great weekend, actually, finishing in 6th this time round ahead of Jamie Anderson. Louis Requenco wins in the Promoters Cup ahead of Stefan Faas and Jonathan Andre, the same podium that we had in the earlier race today. John Newell secures 3rd in the championship with 11th overall ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, and Mark Taylor finishes 13th with Steffi Halm and, unfortunately, Clemens Hecker not taking part in the final race of the 2023 championship. Here are your podium finishes, and check out Sascha Lenz's celebration. He knows that one means a lot. And see Andrei Kurzim. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I love it. Great reaction from the guys. Sascha over the moon with 3rd place in the championship. The weekend started so difficult for them, and so too for Andrei Kurzim and the guys. An engine change on Friday night, and well, maybe another one before next season now after what happened, but a huge hug and congratulations from him and the guys. That is epic. What a feel-good way to end the season, hey? What a feel-good way to end the season. This is what we love in the championship. You never know what you're going to get from each and every race. Always good fun. Lovely scenes down here in the paddock as they've made Sascha some form of hat for finishing 3rd in the championship. There's Steve Miller giving him a massive hug and a congratulations. Obviously, Sascha changing over to the purple, beautiful machine for this season with great support from Apollo as their sponsor. Sven Volter, clearly a very happy boy with that one. They worked hard for that. And 5th in the championship, a great result for Andre and the team. Norbert Kish comes over to congratulate Andre on a great race victory. And Norby takes another podium. They're talking about the fact that there was water everywhere at the end. I wasn't quite sure what it was that Andre Kurzim struck. Maybe we'll find out. We're going to go down there on the ground to Christina, who's going to have a chat with the guys.
Absolutely. That's a nice hat.
Yeah, it was a really nice race. Yeah, my daughter building this for me, you know, and yeah, I say, okay, when we are P3 on the end from the year, then I put on. So
that's absolutely spectacular. Congrats to the daughter. Fine work. Look at the outline of this purple truck on the head right now. So you've had quite a tactics. We thought you'd stay behind Albersetti to keeping it cool, but then you managed to go through. How?
Yeah, you make a small mistake, and then we were side by side, and then he gave me the place that I can overtake him. So it was fair. It was really great in this moment. It was a big gap in this moment, and then he make the mistake, and then I can overtake him. I'm so happy for my team, for my sponsors, for all.
What about the adrenaline of this whole weekend? You came from zero to hero.
Yeah, but you can do this only with a team. And when you have so good team on the back, then you can win all what you want.
Congrats, celebrate with the team.
Thanks.
All the best. So we're going to talk to Andre Kozanov. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You lost kind of some liquids there.
Yes.
After the last turn. What happened?
The tank from the cooling water from the water cooler is exploded. It's very difficult, but now it's okay. Yes, last minute.
Absolutely. We saw you just rolling it out. What did you thought in that moment?
Hopefully we can get the last 3 corners and bring it at home. And yeah, no, it was possible. And yes, we are very happy.
What was for traffic on your ears? Sven Walter screaming, or who was screaming at your ear?
Yeah, I think he was crying. Everybody was very happy to finish the race here at first. Now we can gain the 5th position at the championship. Yes.
Belated birthday present.
Yes. Yes.
Up to the podium, it's champagne for you right now. Congratulations.
What great scenes down there, and such a lovely gesture that as well by Sasha to wear the hat that his daughter made for him if he finishes 3rd in the championship. And this is the thing, you know, these drivers, they're such fantastic human beings, you know. It's lovely to see those little gestures and these moments of just how great they are as people amongst these, you know, they're such talented racing drivers, amazing personalities, great characters. Just I really do love the people in this series, and we're very grateful to have such a fantastic roster of drivers that show these emotions, and they do really paint a great picture and a great story of everything that goes on in the series. And they provide their own fantastic advertisement for this form of racing that we get to enjoy every single year. It's just a beautiful thing, it really is. A very feel-good podium for the last round of the 2023 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And I've enjoyed every moment of this season, I can tell you that for free. There's going to be a great awards dinner this evening as well, not too far from the circuit. But for now, everybody needs to just cool down a little bit, take some time to reflect on what's been a great year, and obviously enjoy themselves as well. Andre Kurzim again wins the final race of the season. I think he's done that a couple of times now, and he'll be over the moon. Sasha talking through his race. Louis Requenco getting another win in the Promoters' Cup, but just missing out on that final point as John Newell takes 3rd. Norbert Kish makes his way up to the podium. 3rd place for him outright, and look at the podium and the scenes here at Jarama. Shot there by the wonderful Mike Fow from the great broadcaster Viga. Again, I want to give a thanks to Viga. I will later on this evening as well. Sasha Lenz 2nd. Look at how much it means to Sasha. He is delighted. He worked so hard with his partners and sponsors. And Andre Kurzim, a race winner again in the British? No, I almost said the one of my sim racing series names there. Sorry. The Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It's been a long day, everybody. I'm so sorry. Great crowd down there in the sort of media pen, so to speak, just outside of Parc Fermé in the paddock. Norbert Kish receives his trophy. Sasha Lenz receives his as well. And Andre Kurzim stands on the top step and will receive his trophy as well with great rapturous applause, I'm sure. He worked really hard to be on the podium yesterday. Look at the energy. Oh, the energy is phenomenal from Andre. Such a happy guy. He's lovely to be around. And they hold their trophies with pride. And we will, I'm sure, get the German national anthem now for our race-winning driver, Andre Kurzim. Unless they're told for more pictures. And yes, we do get the German national anthem now for Andre Kurzim. And there we go, a great celebration by the drivers and teams. And as the sun continues to bear down on us here at Jarama, everyone can get a bit of a tan and enjoy the fantastic weather for just the final hours of the day before we head to the awards dinner this evening. Look at all the people here out to appreciate our drivers and their achievements. Sasha throws the hat into the crowd, a great souvenir for somebody. And the guys all smiles on the top step of the podium, joining Andre Kurzim. And here's one of my favourite things in the championship, I must say. The champagne spraying. I imagine either the podium girl to the left-hand side is going to get drenched by Sasha after getting soaked earlier by Jochen, or Andre Kurzim is going to get drenched. Yes, they all just get each other. And there you go. For the second time this weekend, nobody drenches Andre Kurzim. But he deserves that one. Great work by Andre, and very well done. And look at the smile on his face. It's so heartwarming, isn't it? Norby and Sasha, great sportsmen as well. And here is the championship standings as of the finale. Norbert Kisch wins the championship with Jochen Hahn in second place, Sascha Lenz third, ahead of Antonio Albacete, Andre Kurzim on 169 points, Steffi Halm next up on 162, Jamie Anderson on 152, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez next up, Stefan Faas and Lucas Hahn complete the top 10. Louis Requenco eventually finishes 11th, 3 points clear of Mark Taylor in the overall standings. Adam Lachko finishes 13th, with John Newell 14th ahead of Jose Rodriguez, Heinrich Clemens Hecker, Jonathan Andre, and Erwin Klein-Nagelvor of the 18 drivers that we've had compete and score overall championship points in 2023. A great list of names and wonderful characters that have painted the picture of 2023's season. We're thankful to have had each and every one of them on the racetracks of Europe with us this year. And much like I can't get his name right, Jonathan Andre makes his way onto the podium to take third position. Second podium of the day for him. Stefan Faas joining him, and then a big round of applause for Louis Requenco, the Spanish driver, taking his fourth Promoters Cup win of the weekend on home soil. What a great weekend he's had to round out his season. Amazing. A very, very respectable bloke is Louis Requenco. He's been hard at work this season and doing an amazing job throughout. He continues to yet again impress all of us here. It's great to see. The trophies handed out for the drivers. Jonathan Andre third, Stefan Faas second, and Louis Requenco taking the win for the fourth time on the bounce. Sixth time on the bounce, actually, as well, counting Le Mans. And now we should have the Spanish national anthem for our home race winning driver on the top step. And there you go, the Spanish national anthem there for our race-winning driver in the Promoters' Cup, Louis Requenco. Eventually finishes 4th in the championship, just 1 point shy of John Newell. And it's time for champagne for these drivers. Louis Requenco first to the podium, but last to get the bottle open, sprays both of his competitors with champagne. Stefan Fast drenches him after a great campaign with all these drivers. And a very well done to the guys. And a big swig of champagne for Louis Requenco. Really deserves that one after the season he's had. And these final 6 races for him have been top draw. And now he says, shall we go? Promoters' Cup standings then at the end. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is your 2023 champion, and he has done one amazing job all the way through. Stefan Fast finishes 2nd. John Newell is 3rd by just 1 point over Louis Requenco, with Mark Taylor having a terrible run of luck at the end of the year, unfortunately dropping to 5th place. Heinrich Clemens Hecker is 6th, with Lucas Hahn in 7th. Jonathan Andre is 8th, with more than 100 points by the championship end. Well done to Jonathan. And then Owen Klein-Nagelvoort competed at just 1 round at the Nürburgring, but still scores 21 points. It was great to have him back in the championship again. Let's have a look then at some of the finest pictures we've got of the last race of 2023. I can't believe it's already over. So it started with a bang, with Louis Requenco and Jose Rodriguez going head-to-head in the opening corners. Andre Curzin doing a great job in the first few laps to stay with the Spanish driver and try and take the overall lead. Sasha Lenz and Antonio Albersetti had us on the edges of our seat for who was going to take 3rd place in the overall championship, while John Newell and Louis Requenco also traded points for the final podium step in the Promoters' Cup. The field was bright and beautiful for everybody, but unfortunately for Louis Requenco, it was going to be a little lock-up on the way into the hairpin that cost him the lead, with Andre Curzin nipping in front just down the inside and being as opportunistic as ever. Norbert Kish continued to move forward through the pack and would eventually gain a few more places by the end, but the fight for 3rd in the championship was what we kept our attention to. And Antonio Albersetti certainly fought hard and did everything he could, but it would ultimately just be a small mistake near the end of the race that would cost him dear. Sasha Lenz was in the right place at the right time, though, to take that 3rd place, and the end of the race was certainly a belter, with more and more moves being made all of the time. Jochen Hahn eventually getting past Jose Rodriguez at the end to take a well-deserved 5th position. He also went past Louis Requenco on his way there, while Norby then eventually tried to help out his teammate, but in the final corners there was drama as Andre Curzin's truck had a slight failure and Norbert Kish overtook Antonio Albersetti at the end. Norby celebrates and we go down to Christina.
Mark at the final race. 4 podiums, 4 wins in the Promoters' Cup in a row for Luis Requenco, con alma, con corazón y conquistador. ¿Cómo?
Bueno, yo lo intento siempre, intento ser cada vez mejor. Me he fijado que a mí se me calientan los neumáticos en 5 vueltas y a ellos no, porque no los castigan tantos como yo. Yo no hago la frenada concreta y ellos sí la hacen concreta. Bueno, hay que mejorar y espero mejorar en los próximos días.
¿Es el aire en los neumáticos?
Presión de neumáticos y sobre todo mala frenada.
So he said, yes, I'm not always intending to be the first and going up to the podium. I'm just trying to do my best. And after the 5th round, he got slightly problem with the air pressures into his tires, and also, of course, then with the rest that he has to deal with it. But he did manage very well. ¿Qué grande fue la ayuda de Hahn Racing?
Sí, la ayuda de Hahn es total. Me entiendo muy bien con ellos y creo que vamos a hacer un buen camión para el año que viene. Y buenos reglajes y bueno, y aparte muy buena educación en cuanto a formación de conducción.
Bueno, so he said, yes, he's dealing really quite well with Hahn Racing. They supported him. You have seen it every time in the back shot that this was a different truck with the green space over around it, but the rest was, of course, Lucas Hahn truck. And he said, yeah, we're doing very, very well with each other, and we're trying to build a brand new truck for the next season. It's going to be really, really good. So que viene la próxima temporada con un truck de Hahn Racing, ¿puede ser?
Sí, sí, puede ser, sí, será Iveco y será con Hahn Racing, con un Iveco que fabricado por ellos y bueno, ahí estaremos.
Okay.
Sí, Dios quiere. Okay.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias a vosotros.
Saludos. So you said, yes, the next season we might be building a truck, brand new truck with Hahn Racing, and then we're going to continue this fabulous journey. A fabulous journey also for Steffen Faas. Please join in to, this is not a podium, but this is the final stage. After the final race weekend, how glad are you with the outcome of the season for you?
Ja, war eine interessante Saison. Ich bin eigentlich nicht 100% zufrieden, aber wir haben eine richtig starke Leistung gemacht dieses Jahr. Wir sind ein Jahr durchgefahren mit unserem Motor, ohne was. War mega. Vielen Dank an das ganze Team, das war absolut grandios. Und deshalb bin ich auch zufrieden mit meinem zweiten Platz im Promoters Cup. Einfach aus dem Grund raus, da wir viel Arbeit vorher halt reingesteckt haben in das ganze Projekt und das uns jetzt gelungen ist.
So you said they put a great effort team-wise into this whole new project. This is why he said I'm happy with it, but I'm not 100% happy, sure, with everything that occurred during the season. They also had slightly problems here and there, but at the end they're all happy because they've been racing with a complete new motor and the setup has been very well. Huge thanks, a massive thanks to the team of Tankpool 24 supporting him throughout the season. So what was it to be here in the center of, I don't know, crazy fans, the heating and everything? This is it was a great final, wasn't it?
Ja, es hat ja schon grandios angefangen. Ne? Also wir wussten ja gar nicht, was uns da geschieht, alle Fahrer, in den ersten paar freien Trainings. Und ist natürlich brutal hier in der Hitze und die Fans sind absoluter Wahnsinn hier, also die flippen voll aus. Mega, mega gut.
Sehr cool. Have a party then. Thank you very much. So just have a quick translation there. He said, yeah, it was the heating. All us drivers, we did not know what could we expect from this race weekend. And you know, the spectators, they have been spectacular themselves and the heating is on, really. So we are on fire also for the next episode and the next year. We started this journey in Misano together and today it ends here at Jarama. It has been quite a nice season. 2023 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is in the books. We do have our champion. We congratulate Norbert Kirsch, of course, and we do congratulate the champion of the Promoters Cup, which is Luis Recuenca. Those are the fans. They're celebrating still. You can see all the teams are packing up. We are too. Thanks everyone from the ETRA organization. Thanks everyone from Vigo Production and all the TV teams and of course all the marshals, all the helping hands on field, off track. It has been a great pleasure hosting this event series and hopefully we see us next year in 2024. And if you like, please join us on our social media channels. You get several updates throughout the year. So see you then. Bye bye for next time. Hasta luego.